Welcome to the Senior Scoop, where experience meets community. Hi, I'm Deborah Samuel.
And I'm Kelsey Samuel. We're your hosts, bringing you real stories, trusted advice, and expert tips for seniors and their families right here in beautiful Santa Barbara.
Now, let's meet the incredible team behind the scenes at SBSOS, making it all possible.
The Senior Scoop is proudly brought to you by SBSOS, Santa Barbara's support network for seniors. Visit sbsos.care or call us at 805-946-0060 to learn more.
Now, let's dive into this week's Senior Scoop. Good morning from the Senior Scoop right here in Santa Barbara, California. I'm Deborah Samuel here with Kelsey Samuel and Jill Rodee from the Music Academy of the West. We are thrilled to have you with us here in the studios this morning.
Oh, thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
It's absolutely wonderful. We spent a good deal of time at the Music Academy of the West this summer at the festival, and it was absolutely an amazing showcase of international talent. Just exceptional.
Thank you.
Yes. So your role with Music Academy of the West is as Director of Philanthropy.
Yes.
So we're very excited to talk with you about your role there and the new initiatives that we have coming up for Music Academy of the West, some very big news that happened this year.
Yes.
But let's sort of start at the beginning. So Music Academy of the West, a Santa Barbara institution. And yet sometimes people don't know about this wonderful, not only Santa Barbara, but internationally recognized Music Academy.
Yes.
So could you probably give us some insight into how it started and its history and its function?
So we've been around for 78 years, which is amazing.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So
I did not know that.
So in 1947, there's these wonderful schools back east, wonderful festivals, but we didn't really have a finishing school, as they called it back then, for musicians out in the West. So there were a group of people actually in Los Angeles who wanted to get together because they said Juilliard is not accepting, Curtis Institute is not accepting people from the West, students from the West, because they don't think they're well trained enough. So why don't we form our own institution? So they got together and they thought, well, but you know what? We don't want that Hollywood influence. Isn't that funny? This is back in the 40s. We don't want that Hollywood influence. What if we went to Santa Barbara? So they met with some folks in Santa Barbara, including Lottie Lehman, so the famed opera star. And she didn't really participate in the meeting, but she was there lending her support. But soon thereafter, they formed this group of people, and they had a very small first season in 1947, the summer of 1947. So years go on, Kate's school gets involved. They allow us to use their facilities, use their dorms. And then this property became available. And that is actually a legacy story. The Jeffersons, Mr. Jefferson had passed. He was kind of a ship magnate and had a lot of property. In fact, the property of the Music Academy was a golf course, a 9-hole golf course.
Oh.
And they decided 9 holes wasn't enough, so they built the proper Montecito Club. And then the Jeffersons bought the property and turned the country club into their home. So then he passed away, and then Mrs. Jefferson passed away. They didn't have any children. They had a niece back east. They left the property to her, but to their longtime secretary, who never married, always stayed with them, in fact, went on seagoing trips with them, they left her $100,000. And she said, I don't really want $100,000. She talked to the niece and said, how about I give you the $100,000 and I get the property? And the niece was like, great, I don't need a property in Santa Barbara.
Wow.
So Helen Marceau, the secretary, got the property, also gave the niece a couple chandeliers. Oh, well. And then immediately turned around and gave the property to the Music Academy of the West.
What an incredibly generous story.
I mean, that is something that is a real nugget of background behind the Music Academy. I had no idea.
Yes. And in fact, Helen Marceau's great nephew loves the Academy so much and wants to honor his aunt. He has left us in his estate plan to endow a scholarship.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
So the legacy continues.
Yes.
Wow.
So yeah.
I just think it also, as someone who's immigrated to this country, one of the things that's really impressed me about Americans is they understand they need to step up and give to their community. Like if they want something done in their community, if they want to see something progress, like it's their role. So I find that to be incredibly inspirational, actually. So talking just a little bit about development, can you just maybe share your role as to how you have grown, as a local here in Santa Barbara?
Yeah.
We actually have a history of being involved with Girl Scouts, Girl
Yes.
Scouts of America, yay, which is fantastic. But how you have stepped into this role as Director of
Sure.
Development.
And I actually used to work for Girl Scouts a long, long time ago.
Okay,
so
I did not know that.
So yeah, came here, went to UCSB, and then got a degree in science, but fell into fundraising, and I fell in love with fundraising. So I've worked for the zoo, I've worked for the symphony, worked for many wonderful organizations that I had a passion for. But I came back to the arts because I have a background in piano, and my younger daughter, who was a Girl Scout in your troop,
Yes.
played piano, and she still plays piano and trombone.
Trombone, yes.
So I have amassed all of these wonderful fundraising skills. I've done everything from capital campaigns. I did our most recent gala for the Music Academy. But as I have gotten older, I realized that legacy giving is so important, and we should share that information with others, not just because it benefits them and it benefits the institution, but because it's the right thing to do financially. It is the right thing to do to help seniors figure out all of the things they need to figure out to get their affairs in order. So some people will come to our estate planning seminars or downsizing seminar that you're helping us with, and they may not leave the Music Academy and their estate plans, and that's fine. We just want to get the information out there. So as I joined the Music Academy in February 2020, and then immediately we all got sent home, but that was wonderful in terms of legacy giving because it gave me time to build out our program. So we have a wonderful legacy website, which has tools like calculators and brochures. And I can't tell you how many people during the shutdown just would email me and call me with questions.
Right.
Yeah.
So what about this? What about that? Can you help me? And we really started building our program. And I've been there 5 years now, and we have built a really phenomenal legacy program with education, with a newsletter subscription.
The newsletter's fantastic. I found it to be really informative.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, we have about 2,500 people on that list.
Yes.
And of course, anyone who does leave us in their plans, we have a nice little reception and performance for them every fall. And then also during our song competition, we host a lunch because it's a long day if you stay for one of the competitions, 11 to 5. And we figure they might be a little hungry. So
Well, I find it, interesting, when we start out in our careers, we never know where we're going to end up in 10, 20, 30 years, and how we all find our way to our passion. And it sounds like, after all these different positions you've had, you've really found your niche here at the Music Academy.
I have. And I think music just brings joy to so many people. And we have so many different kinds of music that people can enjoy. We've got our youth choral program. We have our Layer Vocal Institute. We have instrumental. I mean, it really touches all aspects of music, unless it's classically trained music, but you can find something interesting in all the different types of performances. There's modern music, there's percussion, there's really something for it. We did Jaws this year, music with a film. So, and we haven't ever done that.
Yeah.
So,
let's talking about the Jaws performance, that was something so unusual. What are some upcoming things that you're very excited about that are coming up that people may not know about?
Yes, exactly. Well, we've got a few things. We actually used to be just a summer program. We had our summer festival. It was 8 weeks, beginning in June, ending in August. And that was it. We didn't do anything outside. And people would ask me, you work outside of the summer festival? Well, of course, we have to raise all the millions of dollars to put on the festival. But now we are a full year-round program. Our recruitment for Sing starts in August, and those Sing choristers, it's from first grade now all the way through high school. And we have about 300 kids in the program, and it's completely free.
And they're mainly local children.
Local children.
Yes.
We're hoping to expand in North County in the future, but right now it's South County. And once a month they have collaborative rehearsals, and then we have concerts in spring and in December, completely free. We usually have 500 to 600 people come. So it's a wonderful program all year round.
And they've been trained by some of the best vocal teachers in America.
Yes. And also they perform in our opera. They learn to sing in Chinese and in Hebrew and in all different languages. So it's not just your regular choral program. It is learning opera. It is learning music theory. And of course, our instructors mentors are wonderful with
Yes.
children, which is fantastic.
Well, I know there's been a lot of cuts with the music programs
yes.
in the school programs. And so what do you do to outreach to these schools around to capture some of this young talent?
Yeah. We're fortunate now we have a wonderful partnership with the Santa Barbara School District. So they assist us in promoting the Sing program and getting the word out. They also help us coordinate transportation so that we find if there's an issue with transportation, right now we hold the monthly rehearsals at the Music Academy campus in Montecito, but not everybody has transportation to get there. So we coordinate with them to provide buses to bus the children to get to us so that we don't have any issues with some people can get there and some people can't. So, so really we've got some wonderful community partners and they help us promote our programs as well. In fact, we've been working with the Santa Barbara Museum of Art and the Santa Barbara Symphony to do collaborative programs. So
Well, the last performance of the symphony had the that was it was Music Academy of the West. Your last performance, symphonic with the children's choir, with the women's choir.
Yes, with the women's choir.
And,
yes.
and what 150 of the students. Is that right?
50 of the students.
Oh, 50.
Yeah, 150 would have been, we would have had to find a different venue because we had 150 fellows on stage, plus some subs as well, because we needed some other, that was a magnificent performance.
It was.
Wow.
It was.
So speaking of new venues.
Yes, we have a little, we have an exciting new activity. I mean, real estate.
Well, I tell you what, I think it's an amazing thing we might want to mention about spreading your wings at the Music Academy and the opportunity now to reach more people.
Yes,
And
and we're all about education. So yes, we're all year round and we have our Mariposa concerts and we've got some other fundraisers.
So,
yes.
Before because it is a very exciting development, this
Yes.
this new project, which I'm not going to allude to until I'll let you break the news. But let's just talk about what the Mariposa program is well, because I think that's a very interesting program.
Sure. Yeah. So as in addition to our youth programs, the Mariposa Concert Series is a concert series during the non-festival season.
Yes.
So we have all different artists, and we used to try to just have it be alums, but now we're having, all different kinds of folks are coming.
Yeah.
So go to our website, musicacademy.org. We have released the tickets for sale. And I believe there's a concert in October and in January. And then it's going to be one in spring as well. So just a few. We don't want to take away from any of the other arts institutions. We want to collaborate. And then we have some small fundraising events. One is coming up on September 27th, and it's with Richie Hawley and Connor Hannock, two of our faculty members. And so they'll be doing a piano and a clarinet activity, little concert, little talking, but also a 3-course dinner. And so we're trying to make a more intimate experience for those folks that want to have it during the off season, because as you know from attending, sometimes our concerts are 300 people, 1,000 people. We don't really have the time to do some of these intimate experiences from people who really want to be up and close and personal with some of our artists.
Well, I really appreciate the masterclasses that you do.
Yeah,
and
those are so
actually,
fun.
I believe it was a clarinetist, a pianist duo who won
the duo competition.
competition.
Yes, our competitions are amazing, and having that
Oh, it was
partnership.
oboe. Actually,
Yeah, I think it was
I'm
oboe.
sorry.
Yeah, and then we actually, but that's good. We split it this year. It used to be the winds and the brass would have to compete with the strings, which is hard for our judges.
Yes.
So we separated it so that we would have string players and an accompanist, piano, and then the woodwinds and the brass and percussion and an accompanist, and so they each could win, and then they got to perform at a recital as well as the song competition winner, and that was an amazing performance.
He was quite a character, or he is quite a character.
Yes. And we shared those venues with I think we were at the Libero for that last competition. That's a beautiful place to host events. I know you share different spaces throughout the summer festival.
We do. We do the Libero and the Granada, but that kind of leads us back to the building. We bought this 901 State Street.
901 State Street.
They bought a building. Why do they need a building? They have this beautiful campus. Well, many people don't know that we have run out of space. Our vocal students, our vocal fellows, because they're all scholarship, and our faculty are not only housed, but they do all of their rehearsals and practice at Westmont. And this year, unfortunately, there were problems with the building, the infrastructure at Westmont, the music building, and it was not able to be used. So we were out of practice space. We cobbled things together. We thought, well, wouldn't it be nice if we had our own space?
Yes.
And we had a very, very generous donor, Cheryl Goldberg.
Not a secretary.
No, not a secretary, but I love a secretary who's also generous. No,
But Cheryl Goldberg.
Cheryl
yes,
Goldberg
yes.
and her husband, Michael, passed away, and she wanted to honor him by supporting music education. So she assisted us in purchasing the building. Now, of course, we'll have to renovate it. But what it will be is a center for music education. So it will be where our sing children come and practice and have small concerts. It will be where the Lair Vocal Institute does all of their rehearsals and practices, and also where our chamber orchestra and our full orchestra during the festival will rehearse, and then they'll go to the Lobero or to the Granada for their full performances. So it allows us to have our own space that we can manage
Yes.
and monitor, and then when we're not using it, we can make it available to the community.
Wow.
So perhaps Arts and Lectures needs another place to have one of their events. They already have events on our campus at Hahn Hall. Why not at the new building?
Well, what an
So-
incredible win for State Street. I mean, it's
Yes.
going to be just a hub of activity and more opportunities for people to be down there having dinner, going to events.
Absolutely. And makes us a good partner in the arts by
Absolutely.
being in that central arts location near the Museum of Art, near the Lobero, near the Granada,
Yes.
and just sharing in that promotion of the arts, which hopefully will bring many people a lot of joy.
I just have to go back to the generosity of the Goldbergs. I mean, I think it's what really makes Santa Barbara a very special place, is that people invest in this community, and not just for their own needs or future. Like they appreciate that if Santa Barbara is going to continue to thrive as a destination for musical excellence,
Yeah.
that people will need to step up and do that. And so it's just, sometimes it can be a little bit hard to, I'm sure, have people donate for capital campaign projects necessarily. So it's just really wonderful when people stand up and
We're
do.
so fortunate. And that doesn't mean that we're good. We've got, a building
No,
now.
that's like
There's
the
a lot of
start.
work to do now to get the acoustician. So that's certainly a specialty. And the architect, and figuring out how the building can function in the best way to serve the community and serve our fellows and serve our faculty. So the work is just beginning, but it's a very exciting time to be a part of the Academy.
It is. And so maybe we should start to talk a little bit about that, because this now does lend itself. You've had someone step up and give a very large sum of money. But that doesn't mean that people like you and I can't step up and also participate.
Absolutely.
And others also in a legacy giving program,
Right.
Can perhaps investigate how they can participate in this program as well. Because as you said, there's still some very significant expenses that will need to be covered to make this
yes.
come to full fruition.
For sure. And then not just the building, but we are a full scholarship institution. So many students in music. So they're at Juilliard, they're at the Colburn School, they're at USC. And then they have to pay to go to a summer festival to get their performance experience. And we don't charge. We
Wow.
just say, please pay your expenses to get here. And that's it.
Yeah.
And that's another legacy story, in fact, is that.
Let's hear it.
So Lottie Lehman, of course, world-renowned opera singer and well-known for inventing the master class. She lived in Hope Ranch with her friend, Frances Holden. And Lottie, unfortunately, passed away before Frances. And Frances, of course, huge fan of the arts, helped out with the UCSB Music Library immensely, and had a really good relationship with our past CEO, David Keene. Lovely, lovely guy, former tuba player. And he and his wife, David and his wife, Susan, would meet with Frances almost weekly, and they'd go over and have dinner, and they just kept this relationship. And when Frances passed away, she left us her home.
Oh.
And that home, of course, turned into a very large cash gift. And that gift then spurred the board at the Academy to have some fervent discussions about, we have enough money being relative, but
Yes.
we should be full scholarship, and not just give a scholarship to you, but not to you. Let's give a scholarship to everyone, because then we'll get the best people. So, and we won't have to judge on who can pay and who can't pay. So after 2 years, we became a full scholarship institution. Thankfully, the board had that
It's amazing.
foresight. That being said, if you wanted to name a scholarship at the Music Academy, you could name one annually for $15,000 and you can endow one for $300,000. Unfortunately, those numbers with the increases in costs don't really cover our costs anymore. You know, when you
Right.
go and see $8 for a little basket of strawberries, feeding 150 fellows
Yes.
in the summer, breakfast, lunch, and dinner adds up.
Yes.
So we continually fundraise during the year to make sure that our fellows' needs are met, that we can hire the best faculty.
Yes.
Now I've completely forgotten the question, but the point is, at least what I'm trying to express is that,
I
you
wanted
know,
to talk about this because,
Yeah.
I think it is very, very challenging for particularly classical musicians
yeah.
to get their start in life and
Yes.
to get a regular income, etc. And they take their crafts very, very seriously.
Yeah.
Well,
And they're
the
striving for
instruments.
excellence.
I mean, goodness,
Oh, the
just
instruments,
the
yes.
cost of the instruments and the vocal classes and the professional lessons. I mean, there is such an investment in trying to pursue professional music.
Absolutely.
But I think what's
Absolutely.
really interesting about, this carte blanket coverage of sponsorships is that when we were just talking about this before the podcast, is that there were 19 countries.
Yeah, 19 countries,
And
150 fellows.
it's an incredible summer camp. It's like Girl Scouts all over again. It's like, these people are forming professional relationships with their peers.
And sometimes we've had marriages. People have met. I mean, or they formed quartets, or sometimes they're
Yes.
playing ping pong after hours and they're like, hey, let's get together and I like this music and it's for a septet. Can we get together and practice that? They're building professional and they're enhancing their professionalism through
Yes.
this. And it's not just because we give them the faculty to work with them on the classes or the performance experience like at Jaws. If they've never worked with a click track, that might be their first time, or at our gala performing outside with a professional musician.
Yep.
We also talk to them about their careers. We help them with Pilates classes. We have a performance medicine specialist come so that they don't get injuries. We have an Alexander technique person come and
wonderful.
talk to them. So
Yeah.
we treat them like Olympic athletes.
Yes.
Well, and just the opportunity to live and be housed by mentors. A lot of these performers are a long way from home.
Yes.
They're here for the summer.
Yeah.
And talk a little bit about how people can step up and offer housing opportunities to help these young people.
Well, actually, so that's a really good point because we used to have people house our fellows in their homes, but now they're all housed at Westmont. But the housing opportunity that is available is our faculty and our guest artists. And we have some wonderful folks that always want to have, for example, Daniela Candelari, so one of our conductors. And every time she comes to town, one of our donors says, we would love to have her because she's such a delight. And so they cover the cost of any food, they cover the cost of her housing, and that, of course, saves the Music Academy a great deal of money. So we have so many faculty that come in and out over the summer, guest artists during the summer, and then guest artists during the year. But we're always looking for people if you're out of town for the summer, or if you have a guest house, or if you just want to have someone in your home. But the good news is now all of our fellows are housed at Westmont. And the nice thing about that, and I have heard stories about people when they weren't housed at Westmont. So that's another topic maybe for another day. But they do get to have that collaborative connection, which allows them to think about, let's perform together, or maybe you can show me. We have some people that are 19, some people that are all the way up to age 30. Maybe they find a mentor there as well. So yeah. And then there's downtime too, playing ping pong, painting nights, things like that.
Yes.
Having a little bit of fun while you're here, like summer camp.
I think it's I think it's wonderful that Santa Barbarians can. Well, they do have the opportunity to interact not only as audience members of the Music Academy of the West.
Oh yes.
But I'm going to do a shout out to Kate, volunteer Kate, who I sat next to at one of the performances because she had earned enough volunteer points, so to speak, to earn a ticket. But it's really, it is really wonderful that finances are no barrier for people to participate in
That's
Music
right.
Academy of the West.
Yeah.
I mean, truly. I think people sort of say, oh, it's this, Montecito institution. It's like, and because of that, we have, enormous opportunities for people to actually be freely given access or at a
Absolutely.
lower cost. So
Absolutely.
maybe you can talk
And we
about.
need volunteers. In addition to the housing, people can be ushers during the summer
Yes.
festival.
Mhm.
And every time you usher, you not only get to see the performance, but then you get a ticket to another performance,
Right.
which is really wonderful. So we have some career ushers.
Yes.
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 And new
Mhm.
people as well, which is always lovely because we need ushers to be able to help seat people and point people in the right direction, hand out programs. You may think it's not critical. They're also trained in emergency, like what to do in an emergency. So that is helpful as well. And then, of course, our Compeer program, which was started by Lee Luria and Barbara Robbins and Shirley Cribbs, is a unique part of our festival where volunteers from our community are matched with a fellow or two. And then they kind of act as their Santa Barbara host for the summer. They're their ambassador. They might take them to dinner. They may take them to the harbor or show them around the Museum of Art or Lotus Land, come to their performances, cheer them on. Many of these folks, many of our fellows are from far away.
Right.
And they don't have their family here.
Right.
And so they don't have anyone in the audience that's rooting for them or cheering them on or being supportive or bringing them flowers. And the compeers really do that for them. And some of these compeers have such deep relationships. They're invited to weddings of the fellows. They keep up with them. They follow their career. They attend their performances. It's really one of the best things, and our fellows say that as well. It's unique to our festival.
Yeah, it was fun this summer when we went. You could hear them in the crowd cheering.
Oh, I know, it's
And
fantastic.
they were bringing in bouquets of flowers, and it was just that lovely support system that I think makes it very special with that program.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the outreach that the Music Academy does with our senior campuses here in town.
Yeah.
With how you support people that maybe just can't make that trip anymore, how they can
Yes.
still feel like they're involved in the arts.
Yeah. We want to bring music to everybody, but not everybody's able to, as you noted, either because transportation or health issues. We do coordinate with the senior retirement communities to have buses that bring folks to events, depending on how many people are buying tickets. We even had a bus from Casa Dorinda bring people to our gala because we had so many people from Casa Dorinda come to the gala. But we do take fellow groups, and it's fellow programmed music. They choose the music that they want to perform. They get the groups together, and we perform at Casa Dorinda, at Valverde, and Samarkand. And those three organizations are very supportive and make lovely donations to us. And so that allows us to bring concerts to the residents there. And what's fun is even at Samarkand, they invite people on their waiting list to come and enjoy the performance as well. So they're really trying to reach out to the larger community to bring people. And so
That's fantastic. I was actually there at Samarkand the day this year that they came and performed, and it was just
wonderful.
really well received.
yeah. And it gives the fellows an opportunity to practice in a small chamber group and also practice their skills of presenting because they have to get up there and talk, which is definitely a skill.
Wow. I've learned so much today in our interview. First of all, I didn't know a lot about that history. And so that was really important to share that because I think a lot of people that'll hear this show, just taking them back to where this all started.
Absolutely.
And now following the path with like where it's going with this new opportunity with the new education building is very exciting.
Well, let's just talk about that for a moment. Is like because obviously the board as a nonprofit, you do a lot of long range planning.
Yes.
And that's where legacy giving becomes crucial.
Yes.
So an organization can actually plan for its future.
Yes.
So perhaps you can either revisit or just really talk about what is the Music Academy's more longer range goals, and therefore, planting the seed. I'm sorry, planting the seed in someone's mind, as how they may actually.
The Music Academy is founded on two great legacy gifts. And so, of course, are espousing all types of legacy or planned gifts. And what's nice about doing this for people of a certain age is that they may not have the liquidity. They want to support us, but they don't have that $15,000 a year, but they may have that after they have passed and their gift matures. So it's a wonderful way to continue to be involved with the Music Academy while they're here. So I have a wonderful story of an alum named Sandy. She's a violin alum. She came in 1958 and 1960.
Fantastic.
Full scholarship before we were a full scholarship institution. The music director at the time picked her out and saw her at a competition and said, come. And she went on to have a very robust, not only studio career in LA, but a touring career. And she met her husband. He played drums for Sammy Davis Jr.
Ah.
And they have no kids. But in the 70s, they had a friend say, well, if you ever want to get out of the music industry, maybe you should think about real estate. So they pivoted when they were done touring and had residencies in Las Vegas and went into real estate and owned a company and worked with all kinds of real estate. They've just recently sold their real estate and they've retired to Las Vegas. They're in their 80s. During the pandemic, during the shutdown, they had Zoom calls with me because they wanted to include us in their estate plan because they were thinking of those things at the time. And she had such a transformational experience at the Academy. Well, because of the work that we've done with them, bringing them along, talking to them about what we're doing, they have made an irrevocable gift to endow a violin scholarship.
Oh, fantastic.
So now every year they get to pick the person, they get to pick the fellow, they get to have a relationship with that fellow. The fellow gets to learn about the two of them and their history with the Academy and with performing as professional musicians.
Yes.
And they get to see that in their lifetime. Their gift won't come until after they've passed, but
Yes.
they get to enjoy that now. And of course, those gifts go to our endowment, which is essentially like our savings account that helps us during tough times. It funds operations that people don't necessarily want to sponsor.
Right.
So it's just a really lovely story of Sandy and Phil and their commitment to the Academy and what it meant to them, what it meant to her when she was a young musician trying to figure out what she wanted to do and how she wanted to make this a career.
Wow.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
the Music Academy is so lucky and so blessed to have somebody that's this passionate about.
True.
No, really, this is a very challenging job that you have. Somebody that's so passionate and you can just feel your energy and how much you care about this. You care about the Music Academy. You care about, tomorrow, the future, the children's programs. And
Yes.
it's just lovely to be able to share that passion and get to do what you get every day. You get out of bed every day, making a difference for tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm so lucky and to be in a job that also just brings joy to people. I mean, I love standing out in front of greeting people at a master class or a concert and welcoming our family back to these wonderful events and seeing the smiles and the excitement they have for the next generation of musicians.
It's incredible, and I think it's also important to note that we actually experienced this when we attended the festival, is that we would sit next to people from all across America.
Mhm.
I mean, it truly is astounding what this academy brings into the community.
It
is
does,
amazing.
yeah.
Yep. Well, Jill, again, we thank you for your time. We know you're off to more meetings today.
I am.
I know.
Jill, go.
Many.
Yeah, go, Jill, go. But we do thank you for sitting down with us today at the Senior Scoop Studios with Kelsey and I and sharing more information about the Music Academy. And we cannot wait to go to the Mariposa series.
Excellent. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jill.
Yeah. Well, I'm Deborah Samuel here with Kelsey and Jill, and we thank you for joining us this morning, and we'll see you next time right here in Santa Barbara, California on the Senior Scoop. If you'd like to learn more about the Music Academy of the West, click the link in the bottom and you will go directly to a website or a phone number. Do speak directly to Jill.